The Giant is a brand new boss cooked up by the Motion Twin team for Dead Cells fans in patch 1.2, and he's definitely a step up from what a lot of players are used to. My name is Codiak, and today I'll teach you everything you need to know to take down this undead behemoth. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, it's important to note that players are really fighting the Giant's hands throughout the encounter. The hands float around on either side of the platform and can both unleash devastating moves, so players will have to look for warning signs and track which hand is using which ability. Phase 1 throws 4 unique moves at the player, each of which can occur from the left or right side of the platform. Periodically throughout the fight, the boss will shoot orbs from his palm that travel across the platform. Players will have to use a combination of ducking, dodging, and jumping to avoid getting hit by the projectiles. As far as I can tell, there are 2 distinct patterns that players will have to avoid. One where the projectiles are fired in a line, and another where the projectiles are staggered slightly. It's very easy to get caught off guard depending on the pattern, so players will have to see both variations before they can get comfortable with the ability. The next ability we'll call the Punch. After a short delay, the boss will ball his hand into a fist and swing it horizontally across the platform. Because of the size of the fist, it's really challenging to avoid, but players with good timing can either jump or dodge roll to avoid taking damage. The boss also has an ability we'll call the Slam. Instead of punching across the platform, the boss will raise his fist and bring it down hard on the platform, causing a wave of fire to shoot out from the point of impact. The boss does track the player slightly, so they'll have to avoid being under the fist when it comes down, as well as dodge or jump over the fire that shoots out after the fact. Finally, throughout the fight, the boss will use a charge ability that powers up his fists. After he's charged up the fist 3 times, he'll raise his fist into the air and unleash a torrent of energy balls. Players have to dodge, duck, or jump to avoid taking damage from the waves. This fight is all about dealing damage to the boss's hands. Every time you deplete a hand's health, an eyeball pops out of the boss's head. Players will want to immediately jump on the hand they just killed and wail on that eyeball until it pops back into the boss's head, and then the hand becomes active again. Because the hands are relatively easy to target, any combination of deployables or bombs will get the job done to take down the hands. In this video, you see me using the Crossbow-matic and the Barnacle, both of which do a good job chipping away at the hand's health. Once you take down about 1/3 of the boss's health, he'll shout, indicating the next stage of the encounter. The first major ability players will have to deal with is the eye beams. These yellow lasers shoot out from the boss's eyes towards the edge of the platform and quickly move their way towards the center of the room. Players won't take any damage if they touch the beam, but they also can't move through it, forcing them right to the center of the platform. On its own, the ability isn't that deadly, but the limited mobility makes dodging some of the other boss mechanics more challenging. At around 50%, the boss will shout again, and a new ability will be added to the boss's toolkit. Periodically, the boss will bring both fists up in front of his face and slam them down on the platform. As with the single-fisted slam, players will have to avoid the fire that shoots out from the impact point, but will also have to avoid falling crystals from the top of the map. The crystals continue for some time and will overlap with the Giant's other abilities, so it can become a bit chaotic. Timing your dodge rolls here is critical, or you'll end up taking a chain reaction of damage as each ability rolls on in. While the encounter can be a little hectic, it's very manageable with the right approach. Whether you prefer brutality, tactics, or survivability loadouts, each can get the job done. Because the boss's abilities can overlap quite frequently, you'll want weapons and skills that work quickly. Things like the symmetrical lance and nutcracker are just too slow, and while they still can get the job done, they'll probably cause you to take some unnecessary damage. More than other boss fights, this encounter forces players to use all 3 avoidance techniques: dodging, ducking, and jumping. Learning the boss patterns is essential to knowing when to execute what type of move, but the abilities are all pretty clearly forecasted, so you should pick it up in no time. If you have a more specific question about the encounter or are just looking for some more advice, feel free to leave us a comment below. We do our best to respond to as many questions as possible. You can also join us in Discord if you want to hang out, ask questions, or just talk about great games. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on.